Hello all, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we are going to discuss about geo-replication feature in Azure Container Registry. So let's understand what is the mean of geo-replication. So geo stands for geographical locations and replication is like mirroring any data to another region. So for example, you can see these gray areas which is the geographical location across the world, and these green are the Azure regions where we have where Azure have their own data centers. So what's the purpose of geo replication? So suppose we have deployed Azure Container Registry in Central India location, and we have another, for example, our application is also running in East West region. Then we also want to utilize this image, whatever we have created or pushed in the central region, the same image we want to utilize in East West region. So there are two ways. So another way will, the first one will be either you will create another Azure Container Registry in East to West region and push that image to the East to West region. In that case, what's the issue? You have to manage both the Azure Container Registries in each regions. So to avoid this particular issue, what we can do, we can create a Azure Container Registry in Central India location, and we can push our image to Central India location. Sorry. Then what we can do, we can create a geo replication. So whatever the image we have, that will be replicated to the East to West region. So we don't need to create a separate Azure Container Registry for East to West region. So that's the basically benefit of geo replication feature in Azure Container Registry. And this features is only available if you are using a premium tier of ACR. If you are using basic or standard tier, then this features is not available. So this is what we have discussed about ACR. It's the same thing I have mentioned in this particular slides. So let's understand what is the feature of geo-replication geo-replication in ACR. The first is high availability. So while replicating your container image to multiple regions, geo-replications ensure that your images are always available, even if one region experiences an outage. This helps us in maintaining the uptime of your application. So for example, you are using a multi-regional approach where like in the both region you have like Central India, East to West region, in both region you have deployed your application. Now suppose the Central India region is getting some experience of like outage, it's not working. Then what happened? The application which is hosted in East to West region, that can utilize this, that can pull the image from the ACR which is we have created in Central India region. So our application will not affect any issues and it will run smoothly. So this is the main advantage of using geo replication, because it provides you high availability. And the same thing for disaster recovery. In case of regional failure, geo replication allows for quick recovery by switching to the different region where the container images are also available. Then this enhances the resilience of your application. The another feature we have here is central management, because we are not creating a separate Azure Container Registries in each region. So there is only one region where you have to maintain your registries, and the replication will be handled by Microsoft Azure itself. Reduce latency. So in each region like Central India or East region, your application can pull the image from the nearest location. So it will decrease the latency, reduce the latency of your application, and it will work more fast. Consistency. So geo replication ensure that all your replicated images which you have suppose from Central India to East West you have replicated, that contain the consistency in the copies of images, like whatever the images or tags, like you have 4 image tags in Central India, then same image and tags will be replicated to the another region where you have created a geo replication. Let's directly move to the demo. Let me go to the Azure portal. So here we are going to see how basically this geo replication works, because in real time we cannot make any Azure region like fall or any outage because this is not in our control. So if we have to verify, okay, we have created the Azure application, but how we can verify if it's working or not? So that particular thing we are going to see now. So the very first thing what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the Azure Container Registry in Central India location. So I'll choose my resource group, which is RG DevOps in Central India, and I'll put the registry name ACR Replication. So this registry name should be unique. And you can see the pricing plan I'm going to choose here is premium, because for basic and standard Geo-Replication feature is not available. And rest all the fields I'll keep it default, and I'll review and create. So this will take couple of minutes to create the Azure Container Registries. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes. So now the deployment is completed. Let me go to my Azure Container Registries. So as of now, we don't have any repository here. So the first thing what we are going to do, we are going to build the image and push it in the Azure Container Registry. So let me open my command prompt. So you can see I don't have any images in local as well. So the first thing what we have to do, first thing we have to authenticate this local system to the Azure so it can push our images. So the first thing what I will do, I'll run the AZ login command. So authentication, so it means Azure can authenticate this local system where I'm running the commands. So authentication is successful. Let me go back to the, so how you will know, because you will get all your subscription details and all. So we can see this subscription and all, we got the details. It means we authenticated successfully. Let me clear the, now authentication to Azure is completed. Now we have to push our image to the Docker registry, Azure Container Registry. Then we should also authenticate to the ACR. So let me run the command az ACR -- login and the ACR name. So in our case, ACR name is ACR Replication. Let me copy it. ACR application is misspelled or not recognized by the system. Okay. Let me, maybe some spaces and all. Okay. So let me run it again. So now login is succeeded. Now next, what next we have to do, we have to build the image and then we have to push the image to the ACR. So for that I have already downloaded a sample source code. So here what I will do, in the Docker file I'll just change my registry name. So you can see the environment variable here I have defined Docker_registry. So here I will change the name. Okay, so let me remove all these things. And let me save it. So this is the command which I'm gonna run to build the image and tag the image. Sorry, first we have to build the image because we haven't built it yet. So let me copy the registry name and this is the build command. So here basically Docker build, which is the command, and the file location I am specifying my Docker file name, and -t is a tag which this is the ACR URL and the repository name, and the tag is v1 here. Okay, so let me verify if we have any images now. Docker images. So we have the image with this name ACR-hello world and the tag is v1. So now we want to push this particular image to the Azure Container Registry. So meantime this is happening, what we can do, I'll just go to the browser and I'll create another resource group where we will just create a virtual machine and we will not create any Azure Container Registry. So I'll create a resource group called East US-RG. So this is the resource group name and the location is East US because we are going to enable the replication in East US region. And we are going to create a virtual machine so we can test the Docker image by pulling it. So let me create the, let me go to my home. Let's verify the container image. Okay, so it's pushed now. Let's verify it. I'll go to repository. So you can see here we have ACR-hello world is available. Now we will enable the Geo-Replication. We have not created any resources yet in this particular East US region where we are going to create a Geo-Replication. So I have chosen the location is East US, and this particular region is also have availability zones. There are few regions which will not have availability zones. So based on a requirement, you have to choose the replication region. If in a primary region you have enabled availability zone, so similarly you have to see check your paired region as well if you want to utilize a availability zone over there as well. So let me hit on create. So now you can see these blue tick, this is about Central India, this is primary location of ACR where we have created, and this is the East West region where we are creating the replications. So the provisioning stage is creating, so it will take couple of minutes. Okay, so the now provisioning stage is succeeded. What next we have to do? So let me okay, the first thing before creating any other virtual machine on East US region, what we will do, I have already a virtual machine which is running in the Central India location. So first we will try to pull the image on this particular Central India region if it's working or not. You can see one more thing. When you create a replication, you can see this container registry replications, two things, because one is replication with East to West and one is Central India, because we have created a replication from Central India to East to West. So you can see these two resources as well under your resource group. Let me go to my virtual machine, which is okay. Let me take the IP address. So I already have a virtual machine in Central India region which is running. So let me go and take the public IP address. I'll open the command prompt. Let me clear it. So this is the Linux virtual machine which we have created. So as we know, to pulling or push or pull image any from the Azure Container Registry, we should also have Docker client installed on your machine. Then only you can perform the Docker operation or any Azure CLI task. You have to also install Azure CLI as well, because we have to again do the authentication from this system to the Azure cloud and then from ACR. So let me clear the console here. So let's see if Docker is available here. Just type Docker image command. It means Docker is installed on this machine. Now what we will do, we will first authenticate this virtual machine with Azure. If you are using service principal and all, that is also fine. Let me go to copy this particular link, and we have to enter this device code here. Okay. So now next thing what we have to do, we have to also authenticate to the ACR, so we can pull the image. Either you can you can enable the access key. If I'll go to, okay, this is the Azure Container Registry. So if I'll go to my ACR, so you can see your access key. So you can enable the admin user here, and you can utilize the username and password as well. But we have authenticated with the credential which we are using to access this Azure portal. So the next thing, we have to authenticate to the ACR. So let me copy the command and I'll run it here. So login succeeded. Now let me pull the image. So Docker pull, and this is the URL and image name. So you can see it start pulling the image. It means from central India we are able to pull the image. If we have to also verify from which region this particular image we are getting, so we can use ns lookup command as well. And here you have to specify the Azure Container Registry URL. So you can see the server name, address, and here you can see in canonical name is CIN. It means Central India. And here also you can see the name is coming Central India, because through the traffic manager it's routing the traffic. So that's why you can see here something called traffic manager. It means the image which we have pulled here in this virtual machine, that's we are getting from the Central India location. Same thing what we will do in the, we will create a virtual machine in East to West region, and we will try to pull the image, and we will see the region from where it's pulling the image. So let me go back to my Azure portal. Here what I will do, I'll quickly, okay, I already have a resource group called East to West, and you can see here we don't have any resources yet. So let me again go back and create a virtual machine first. So this virtual machine we are going to create in East to West region. I'll choose my region East to West. Virtual machine name, I'll keep it VM2. I don't want any availability zone. Okay, instead of SSH, I'll use username and password. And rest everything I'll keep it default. So in East to West region, we are going to create only virtual machine. We don't have any other resources kind like ACR and all. So it will be easy to identify, okay, this particular image which we are pulling, it's coming from which region. So this virtual machine creation will take couple of minutes. Okay, so VM deployment is completed. Let me go to the VM. On this, because this is the fresh VM which we have created, so we have to install the Docker and Azure CLI utility as well. So let me take the public IP address. Let me open the new command prompt, so it will be easy to compare. So I'll use SSH Okay, so we have entered in the virtual machine. Let me minimize this one. So I have already copied a command to install a Docker. So let me run it one by one. This will not take much time. So now we have installed the Docker. Let me install the Azure CLI also, because we have to authenticate this virtual machine with Azure and ACR as well. So now I'll log into the Azure. Let me copy the URL. Okay, so authentication is successful with Azure, and the next command what we will do, we will run uh, log into the ACR as well. Okay, so ACR login is also succeeded. Let me clear the console. Now what I will do, I will pull the image on this VM itself. So Docker pull and the URL, which is okay. So it's completed. So now we will see ns lookup command we will use. So we will get to know, okay, from where the traffic is coming. So let me remove this repository name. So now you can see the traffic is coming now east to west region. So if I'll open the another one, which is BM1, Here we have traffic from central India, and here we have traffic from east to west region. So it means the replication is working fine, geo replication. And because we have not created any other resources in the east to west region, if I'll go to resource group, you can see here we have only the virtual machine which is running as part of this region or this resource group. So now if we have to double sure like if it's working fine or not, so what we can do, we can do one more test. I'll go to the container registry, and let me go to geo replication. I'll remove the replication now. So then we will see if we are still able to pull the image or not. So I'll delete the replication from east to west region. Let me refresh it. So it will take a couple of minutes to delete the replications. Okay, so replication is deleted now from the for the east west location. So now let me go back to the my BM2 which is in east US region. So now I will try to pull the image again. So now you can see we are getting a response, error response from daemon. It means the replication is not enabled now. So that's how basically we can test the geo replication feature if it's working or not, because we cannot make Azure reason to down. So and we can test. This is the way we can verify our geo replication is working fine. So that's all for today. See you in next video. Thank you so much.